Okay, so let's talk. At the end of, rather, us going into a new season, I was thinking about like, what am I going to do as far as content? And I really wanted to focus on things that I kind of research and try to implement in my life based on the research that I do and kind of what led me to being a health coach in the first place based on the research that I did. And so I wanted to focus more content on that. Some of it, really, most of what I do revolves around really my 6 kind of principles for wellness that I've kind of come up with since I started my research for the most part. Now, my research has always been like, what can I do to like actively help my health on a regular basis? We shouldn't have to just sit and wait until something goes wrong and then try to fix it then, when there's things and science out there that shows that we can be doing things on a regular basis to just try and boost our health naturally. And no, it's not just eating vegetables, even though that's number one. That's my first thing. Eating more plants. All the science says it. It doesn't say that you have to go vegan. It doesn't say it at all. But just eating more plants. And diving into that part, even more research, I started realizing that there are ways that you can prepare your plants, and not plants, your foods, your vegetables. Prepare your foods, and if you cook it a certain way or chop it a certain way, then it can actually make it more nutritious, or at least retain the nutrients. Sorry, my mouth was getting real juicy then. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to focus on, sharing information with that. I started to hint at a program, a thing that I was going to do around that, but I'm probably going to wait until the beginning of the next year to do the actual program. But I'm going to start focusing some content around it to like as the build up. Aside from that, the first one is eat more plants. My philosophies that I've come out of, wellness philosophies after doing so much research for years and years. Eat more plants. Second one, watch your chemicals. Learn what type of chemicals that you can kind of avoid as much as you can on a regular basis, because some of them are downright carcinogenic, meaning are proven to give you cancer. Next thing is watch your stress. Okay, that's a huge thing. It's things that you can do, the stress management, and that's what the stress reduction challenge that I'm going to be doing. And now that's part of under that principle of what I feel. And out of, like I said, it's all research based. So finding a way to do just a regular stress reducing, something you can do, or setting time for yourself every day to just try to figure out how to de-stress. Because stress accumulates in the body and that can cause disease in the long run. So if you can find a way to try to counter it just a little bit a day, then that helps. Other than that is, what are my principles? Let me remember. Sorry, mom brain. Then it was sleep. Even though this is something I'm still not the best at, but there's certain things that I've been using to get better at it over the years. And that's why I'll share about things such as magnesium oils or lotions and stuff, because magnesium is not in the food that we eat, okay? And our body doesn't really, I can't remember if it makes it, see, there we go, my brain. But regardless, we are supposed to eat it, okay? That's why, like, for women, when we get towards our period, our magnesium level, we need more magnesium, and so we may crave chocolate, and that's what happens. But if you kind of work with that, then you may have those cravings less. But if your magnesium levels are really low, then that can help bother your sleep patterns and make your muscles cramp and all this different things. So I use magnesium lotion almost every other night, if not every night, just because I love it. And yes, you can get magnesium on through food, dark leafy greens. But if your like gut is kind of messed up, not saying that like you get the runs all the time, but if you don't eat enough things, or your probiotics or your prebiotics is a little screwed up in your gut, just your microbiome period, your magnesium levels would just be screwed up. But anyway, that's the thing. That's not the last thing. The fifth principle that I've come to research and find that will help overall health is movement. And it's not even saying that you gotta go and let me get a gym membership and all that stuff. Just moving, okay? The centenarians, people that live to 100, They don't have gym memberships and stuff. No, they just go out and walk with their friends. They go in the garden and they move stuff around. Stuff like they're just pick up their kids. Incorporating just regular like walks. Nobody say you have to go and become a marathoner or go run, but a walk, a 30-minute walk every day or so can do wonders. The last thing that I've come to find in my research is community. Okay, that seems to be, that's the sixth principle of my thing. Community helps, and that's why that's what I'm kind of working on too with this challenge. And I'm probably going to be starting a Facebook group of some sort, because it just helps. Okay, people, especially if like you're trying to make a change, you want a community of people who think the way that you're trying to think, as opposed to maybe the people that, you know, in addition to the people who are already in your regular life. But community is important. Now, going back to food, okay? Like I said, I am a geek. Like, I'm obsessed with finding out different ways to use the foods that we eat on a regular, everyday basis to manipulate them, or, you know, just optimize their nutrient value. And yes, I still have not put iron on this thing, okay? The corn silk, the strings of the corn that come when you buy fresh corn. There's actually a study that showed that the corn silk, like extracts or taking, like making teas can help with lowering blood pressure. There's actually help with antioxidants, and there's like nutrients in this. So it's traditionally been used in like Chinese medicine and herbalism and everything like that. It's been used for a long time. But then there is a study that I came across, and probably more studies because I'm still diving into it, that show that actually back it up. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this and make a tea out of it. I don't know where that cut off, but there's actually studies with it. So like even just the way that I shared before, when you cook garlic, you're able to keep the nutrients in the garlic if you just slice it and then you let it sit for 10 minutes before you putting it in the pan. It's scientific studies, obviously that's redundant, showing that, okay? Even stuff that like drinking pomegranate juice can help with your gut microbiome, and just all sorts of things. It's super fascinating to me, and to some it would be hella boring, but it's super fascinating to me. And so I try to implement certain things into my daily life. I started drinking more matcha again. I cut back on the coffee. I had a coffee today though, but it was half decaf, half regular. But I hadn't had it in like a week or more, okay? But there we go. I wanted to say that because that's what I'm thinking for the fall. Concentrating on those things and actually helping people make actionable steps. And I'm not a huge, I want people to be more engaged and actually do the things, okay? And sometimes people need incentives to do so. And that's why I said I was going to do a challenge. It will be a low cost challenge, but it's a challenge nonetheless, and it will be rewards built in, okay? But that's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to finish with my corn. Let me know if this was helpful. I will see y'all some other time.